What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're filming another top 5. However, today we're going to be filming inside, and the reason why is, first off, I'm a little under the weather. Secondly, it's -8 degrees outside. That sounds like it sucks, so we filmed in here. This video topic is going to be an interesting one because it's going to be pretty subjective, but I hope this video will actually help you choose yours. I get asked this a lot, and one of the parameters for it is going to be I'm going to leave out guns that are sentimental to me. So the reason why I'm gonna do that is so the video just more applies to more people. If I just picked 5 guns that my grandpa gave me or 5 guns that my dad gave me, it wouldn't really help you make a choice if you're in a state, let's say, where you have a limited amount of firearms, or if you're on a limited budget, or you just don't want 100 guns and you only want 5. You could watch this list and you could get more information than you could if I just listed off the guns I got from my dad, for example. Now, if you want to see that list, let me know in the comment section below because I'd love to show those off as well. But as far as this list go, it's going to be a more broad list of if I can only pick 5 absolutely practical guns. So today we're going to pick the 5 guns I would own if I could only own 5. And I suppose we should start with the obvious one. And the obvious one to me is going to be a pistol. I'm a pistol shooter. I think it's important, at least in modern day society, to be an armed citizen, to be a responsible citizen, and the way that you do that in modern society is with a concealed carry handgun. So I think for me, considering how much I can actually do with a handgun, I'm a decent handgun marksman. If you all watch the channel, you know that handguns are kind of my thing. I can even use this gun for ranch defense, home defense if I have to. It's not ideal, which is why there'll be more coming up. But I think the first step to me personally is going to be a concealed carry gun. Now, a lot of people talk about the rifleman, a lot of people talk about shotguns, and I definitely use both of those, and we'll get into those. But as far as the gun that I use the most, it's my everyday carry, obviously. I carry it every day, and I carry it outside. I've shot coyotes with guns like these, and I think the best one for me personally is going to be the Glock 43X. So I actually really like the Glock 48 or the Glock 43, and the reason for that is because I'm a Glock guy. I grew up on Glocks, and I gotta tell you, I still like them. And my almost consistent companion when I go on trips or when I carry is gonna be the Glock 43X. It only holds 10 rounds, but with the Shield magazines, you can actually get 15. 15 plus 1 is quite the capacity for this very small, very light gun. For me, I'm a little bit bigger guy. I like the 43X because it is a little bit bigger than its competition, the P365, Taurus GX4, or even the M&P Shield Plus. It's even bigger than that. I like that because not only is the Glock big, but it's sort of slim. And I'm big and slim, so it works for me. I also shoot it really well. It's reliable. I've had it for years, and it works great no matter what. So I have the option with the Glock 43X to either use the 43X slide so I can concealed carry a little bit easier, or if I wanted to get a little bit bigger gun, I can rock my 48 slide as well. Both of them work great. Both of them use the same recoil spring. Both of them run the same ammunition, and it works for me. I've got tons of ammunition for this gun, and overall, I think a micro 9mm is probably the first choice you're gonna look at. Somewhere between a 3 and 4 inch barrel, so it's comfortable to carry, and I like guns that are slim but shoot well, are accurate, and they also have good capacity, good recoil control, and for me, that's the Glock 43X. Now, there's other options as well. I would also put the Spectre Comp in there. That was a really tight race for this, and then obviously my Shield Plus, which I've been carrying lately, could eventually eclipse this, but for right now, I'm going with Old Faithful, and that's the Glock 43X. But again, it's more of a category than anything, and if you're using that to kind of choose yours, I would just choose whatever subcompact style 9mm that you can shoot and handle and fits you the best. That being said, let's get into number 2 with a shotgun. Of course it's a shotgun. How could it not be? The most ubiquitous gun probably on the market today. You can use shotguns for literally anything. I would recommend a Mossberg 500. I might actually choose the 590A1, but maybe not. I like something that's modular, and the 500 just is. It's cheap, it's modular. You can use an 18-inch barrel for home defense. You can use a 26-inch barrel for bird hunting. You can use a 20-inch rifled slug barrel for deer hunting. You can use a shotgun for literally anything, and if you choose a pump shotgun, which is what I would recommend, you can shoot almost any round on earth. 12 gauge rounds are very common, very available, arguably the most available round, and they're probably the most useful as well. You can get flight control rounds, you can get 8-shot, you can get double-aught buck, you can get double BB, you can get a shotgun round to hunt anything from bear all the way down to pigeons. So it really depends on what you want to get into, but as far as home defense, everything but concealed carry, the shotgun can pretty much much handle. Now, it is limited at range, but even the shotgun can reach out. I see a lot of people say shotgun's a 0 to 25 yard weapon. I grew up in Iowa. And in Iowa, we deer hunt with shotguns. And I can promise you, I have smoked some deer way further than that. I mean, 100 yards is an easy shot for a red dot and a rifled slug barrel and a guy that knows how to use one. I even know people with 20 gauge rifled barrels that have pushed that out to 200 yards. Now, I wasn't there to see that happen, but I trust those people and they're excellent marksmen. And I gotta tell you, most people grow up knowing how to use a shotgun, and that's another benefit, is that it's simple, it's easy to use, and it's a very robust design. Since you manually operate the action, you don't have really any issues with ammunition types, and as long as you get that concept down, it's good to go. Also, the benefit of a 12 gauge shotgun is that I don't know if there's anything much more lethal in close range. If you look at the ER visit statistics of 12 gauge, it's not high as far as survivability. I think it's like 1 out of 20 that you get a chance. So overall, I think it's a proven, reliable, durable weapon, and that's why they're one of the most popular. Now, in at number 3 is another obvious one for me. If you watch the channel, you know I like race guns. And God help me, I love to race. I love anything that goes fast, I love anything that shoots long distance, and I love handguns. I own a lot of high quality performance handguns that I could use for competition. Me personally, I'm a competition shooter, so this is a philosophy that matters a lot to me. And I think out of all my handguns right now, at least, I would probably pick the Staccato XC. I know it's kind of a cheat because it's a super expensive gun, but hey, if I can only have 5, why not spend a little extra for a little bit quality? And the Staccato series of pistols has been amazing for me personally since day one. I have had the Staccato C2, which might be, if I could only pick one gun, that might be it. I mean, that can cover so many bases. But if I get 2 guns, I can get a smaller concealed carry pistol that works better for carry, and then I can get a larger pistol like the XC that will work better for competition, plinking, or just racing my friends, which I do all the time. The XC is one of the most fun guns I've ever shot. I've already won a bullseye competition with this year alone. Super accurate, super reliable, no recoil whatsoever. Internal comp, 4.5-inch slide, manual safety, and that 1911 design. It was hard for me not to put a 1911 on this list, so I had to put a 2011 on this list because the only thing better than a 1911 is probably a 2011. So, awesome trigger, great texture, mag well. Now, the magazines and the gun itself are gonna bankrupt you, but hell, if you can only have 5, why not make it worth your while? All right, and now let's get to the AR-15. It seems pretty obvious, right? Again, why pick an AR-15 over something else that might do the similar job? There's a lot of guns in this category, like an AK, for example, like a G3, like maybe a FAO, or even an M14 that could cover the mid-range engagement, self-defense, without rule of law, rifleman style of concept. But I think the AR-15 does it best just simply because of the modularity again. If you're looking at the AR, you essentially look at the lower, that is the firearm. And after that, you can put any style of upper from different barrel lengths to different calibers, and you could put them on your gun. So if you could only have 5 guns, it seems like the obvious choice because you could make one gun many guns. Now, I was thinking about that as far as pistols go as well, if you look at the Beretta APX or the SIG 320, but I just honestly don't like those guns enough to trade in my Staccato XC. That being said, the AR is not only modular, but in my opinion, it's probably the best as far as speed and accuracy as well, so that's why it ended up on the list. I would recommend, if you could only have one upper, most likely you probably want something like this. You probably want something like a 14.5 with a pinned flash hider, or a 16-inch barrel most likely, because then you could change out muzzle devices depending on what situation you might be in. You might want a break if you want to go to a 3-gun match, but then you probably want a flash hider for self-defense or shooting indoors. Man, I don't know if you ever shot with a three-chamber break indoors, but it's not good on your ears, I promise you that. Now, I like the quad rail for me, but if I had to go with just one, it might be a lighter M-LOK type system because that's a little bit more useful as far as carrying at long distances and things like that. But let's get back to the uppers. If it were me, I would go crazy on the uppers. I would probably have a 350 Legend for hunting. I'd probably have a 6.8 for hunting. I would probably have something like a 6.5 Grendel for long range. And you could have a 300 Blackout for home defense, something super quiet as well. You can even run 9mm uppers on these now with like the CMMG conversion kits, which is very, very cool. So you could have 20 guns in one having something like this. So I don't think you could leave one of these off the list, even if you're an AK guy. The modularity of the AR-15, I feel like just trumps it in every category as far as something like this goes. If you can only have one, the AR-15 is king. Now the next gun I want to talk about is going to be a PCC, and again, I'm super gonna cheat here. The reason why I went with a PCC not only is because they're very useful and very reliable and durable, but mostly because I'm a competitive shooter and I like the concept of training with a pistol and a rifle, and I get the most rifle training from my 9mm carbine. I actually get the most rifle training from this 9mm carbine. This is the actual JP5. Now I know a lot of you aren't gonna be able to get a hold of one of these. Not only are they very uncommon, but they're also very expensive. But there's no argument this is the best PCC on the market, at least for me. It actually has the roller delayed system of the MP5 in it, but it has all AR controls with AR parts compatibility. It's fucking crazy. The JP5 is everything the Agstan Arms MDP9 wishes it could be. JP is one of the absolute pinnacles in the competition world, and this is no exception. It's very fast, very accurate, very reliable, and it freaking takes Glock mags, which is very cool as well. Overall, I like a PCC because you can suppress them, you can shoot them very close at steel, and 9mm ammo is very cheap. Glock mags are very cheap, and this one in particular is very reliable. Now, I understand if you can't get the JP5, but if you're looking at a PCC and you're on a budget, I would recommend stuff like the CZ Scorpion, the CMMG Banshee, or if you want to go a little bit higher, I also really like the MPX. Now, if you're looking for style, obviously the MP5 is the way to go, although I do believe it is a little bit outdated by comparison to stuff like this, especially when you can get everything in one for about the same price. These are about 3,000 bucks, which is about the same price as what you would spend on an MP5. Now, again, very expensive, but like I said before, if you could only have 5, why not go with quality? Now, I wanted to do a couple of cheaters as well, because there's 2 guns here that I really felt like I couldn't leave off the list, so I wanted to do 2 bonus guns. And man, does it really bring out the cowboy in me, I gotta tell you. I've got 2 hands, one for each of you. It was hard for me because when I was looking at my gun collection, I was like, other than my sentimental guns, like the 1911 from my dad or the shotgun my grandpa brought back from World War II, I was thinking, what guns have I bought that I just could not part with? And it seems obvious because there's 2 that I look at every day. I actually put them up in certain areas of my house, and they just brighten my day when I'm in a bad mood. And the first one is going to be my Colt Single Action Army Gen 3 engraved 357 Magnum. What a freaking unicorn this thing is. It's got ivory grips, it's got the engraving, it's got the full 7.5-inch barrel, and it is a Colt single action, not an Umberti clone or anything like that. It's a real Colt, which is why I don't shoot it very much. It was very expensive, although it's easily the most beautiful gun in my collection. I'm such a sucker for cowboy guns, by the way, because my dad was a real cowboy. He could jump on the back of horses, he shot 6 guns, he flipped lever action rifles. That's kind of where I get it from. But this gun reminds me of my dad because he had a single action back in the day. I wish he would have kept it, but it is what it is. This one personally is very accurate, and you can actually shoot these single actions very fast as well. Sadly, they're not practical enough to put on a top 5, but if I could get 2 more, this one would be right in there. Very expensive, but very worth it in my opinion. I've definitely looked at this more than I've shot it, but hell, it's worth it. And finally, I'm not sure what I would do in my life if I couldn't lever action a rifle. And in order to do that, I need a lever action rifle. And my personal favorite is going to be my mantelpiece up here. If you've ever been to my house, this gun sits above my TV. And I probably look at it more than I look at my TV. I always wanted one of these when I was a kid, and again, these are very hard to find. Not only is this a Winchester 1873, but it's also a Winchester 1873 that's case hardened, and it's the Trapper model, which is pretty cool as well. This is actually the 16-inch version, which is actually pretty hard to find. 20 and 24 inches are a lot more popular because the capacity on a lever action is related to its barrel length. Usually it's more popular to have a longer barrel. I like a shorter, more compact gun, and I actually use this out on the range because, I don't know, it's just fun. It's a little cosplay, but it's accurate and reliable, so why not, right? And I like a short, lightweight gun, very similar to some of the guns they used in like the Mexican Revolution and stuff like that. But I love this gun, I love how it looks. As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to buy it. If you're unfamiliar with the 1873, It's from 1873, and it has one of the absolute smoothest actions of any lever action, arguably the smoothest. The downside to it is it can never be drilled or tapped for a dot or anything like that, and you're gonna have to use the buckhorn sights. But I'm a country boy from Iowa. I grew up in rural Iowa, and buckhorn sights I'm very familiar with. So I've been shooting these guns all my life, and when I was a kid I wanted this gun, and now I have it, and man, it would be hard to part with it. So if I had to do a bonus gun, for sure this would be in there. I don't have actually a lot of videos on the Colt single action or the Winchester, so if you're interested in those, leave in the comment section below. I'd really love to see your list as well, because a lot of guns are practical, but I think you could get by with 3 practical guns, so it's always fun for me to see what you guys would choose just for fun. Guns can be fun. You can buy things just because you like them, and you can buy things just because they look cool. And just because an internet guy tells you that you can't, it's bullshit. If you like a Luger, get a Luger. If you like a P38, get a P38. If you love the PPK, carry the PPK. If it's reliable, durable, shoots a bullet where you want it, hell, it's useful. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please stop by your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.
Aren't you cute?
I would really love to see your list, because in case if wait a minute, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh shit, I forgot one.